Just a lonely girl, stars in her eyes.
Educate, entertain, and inspire. This is musician Jake Pratte's motto, but it took some time before she allowed herself to live these words as an artist. Growing up in Southern Alberta, Pratte never intended to pursue a career in music.
I was sort of raised to believe I have this IQ, and then I made the decision. I thought I was going to go to medical school to do Doctors Without Borders, and it was kind of ingrained in me, my own beliefs, and some projections from my family and stuff, that music's a hobby, and so I just always kind of buried it. It was always something I did, and through my biochem degree, I wasn't allowed to take music courses at U of L because it was for fine arts students and stuff, and I was a double major already. But I made friends with the secretary of the fine arts department. She snuck me a key to the piano practice rooms, and so all through my degree, anytime I was stressed or between exams or anything, I would just go and lock myself in one of those little piano rooms and write. And that was my most prolific writing, was through university.
After going to school at the University of Lethbridge, Pratte received a scholarship for medical school and her master's degree in biochemistry. The artist says she made the hardest decision of her life and withdrew. Through personal struggles, the artist ended up in a women's shelter in Edmonton.
When I was in the shelter, after I was on the streets and I ended up living in a women's shelter in Edmonton, when I was in that shelter, once I started to kind of heal myself after a few months of being there, and I put myself in this intensive therapy program and stuff, I started to play this old piano at the chapel in the mission, and these women that were broken like me would come in and sit and listen, and so I'd start to play more than one. I'd play two or three, and it was only my originals that I knew I played back then, and so it became this sort of healing thing, and we had this beautiful moment that really is a big change in my life. I always just would play and then I would leave because I was terrified when I was there. I was terrified of the women. There's a lot of violence, a lot of other things, and but we sat down and there was about 10 or 12 of us, and they went around the circle and told me what my music had meant to them and all these different songs they'd been listening to for a few weeks and how it had inspired them and it made them give them hope, and it was like, I'm in tears and I moved and I was like, wow. And then we ended up having this little impromptu healing circle, I guess you would call it. We started sharing our stories, and we were sharing things that we've never told anybody, our therapists, because it was a safe circle. There was nobody there but us.
It was after her time at the shelter and a serious quad accident in 2009 that Pratte knew she would regret never pursuing her music career. After traveling and performing, Pratte was hired to play live music on cruise ships.
Part of the reason that I decided for ships was I need to prove to myself really that I can do this, that I am a musician, and away from bias, because everybody believes, like, your friends, your family, there's a bias there. You think, well, you have to say that you like me. I was able to kind of find myself through that, and at the same time, not knowing I didn't have my full voice, I was still doing it, and so I thought, wow, if I actually have my full voice and I'm doing this, like, what is possible? So yeah, it was amazing, and so many people, I got so many stories and testimonials from people of basically telling me that I was educating, entertaining, and inspiring. People, either from my stories, they learned something, so they were educated about, a perspective they hadn't had before, or they were inspired by my music or the stories behind my music. And I wasn't technically supposed to play originals really on ship, but every night I threw at least one in, and then I'd start getting people that would be requesting a Jake original, and sometimes requesting a specific one I'd already played.
Pratte's time on the cruise ship kickstarted what looks to be a promising career. The artist recently launched a successful Kickstarter campaign and is working with 2 world-class producers on her debut album, Ignition. For Go, I'm Fallon Wagner.